The era of wrestling with complicated software with all those toolbars it's ending. For decades, if you wanted professional results in, say, photo editing, you had to master this really intricate workflow, the menus, the layers. It was a high friction system built for experts. But that whole landscape is shifting. I mean, what if you could do a really precise professional photo edit like isolating a subject or adding a cinematic glow just by typing a sentence? Well, that's the new reality, and it's built right into an environment you're probably already using, the Adobe Photoshop integration inside ChatGPT. Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, our mission is to really get into how to leverage this new Photoshop capability. We've gone through an essential guide covering the setup, the core functions, and 5 really high-impact editing techniques that honestly could change your entire creative workflow. Our goal here is pretty simple. It's to give you a shortcut, a direct line to powerful professional results that kind of skips the need to learn complex design software from the ground up. So let's unpack this integration and see what's really under the hood.
Yeah, what's so fascinating here is that it completely flips the traditional editing equation on its head. Usually you go for precision first, right? And that takes time. Here you get speed first. This chat environment can handle, I don't know, maybe 80% of your comment adjustments almost instantly. You only need that deep control second if your prompt needs a little fine-tuning.
So we're talking about Photoshop being inside the chat, but we should probably define what that actually means for everyone listening. What part of it is integrated?
In essence, it's the core adjustment and effects engine of Photoshop itself, the real deal. It's embedded directly into the chat. So you're not, dealing with some watered-down version. You're editing by typing instructions like fix the exposure or change the car's color to red. And the software runs the real command, and then it gives you simple sliders to fine-tune it.
Okay, so it's not the full desktop app, but it's way more than just a simple AI filter that's guessing at the result. It's using real Photoshop math.
Precisely. You got to treat it like a really intelligent conversational layer system. It's a high-speed prototyping tool that just removes all the friction from those basic but necessary adjustments. And crucially, it supports non-destructive editing right from the start.
That non-destructive part is key, I think.
Yeah.
For listeners who might be new to that term, can you just quickly break down what that means in this context?
Sure. Non-destructive editing just means every single change you make, a background blur, a color shift, whatever, it's created on a separate layer. It always preserves the original high-quality image underneath, so you can delete or change any one adjustment without messing up all the others. And, I'll admit, even for me, someone who uses the full suite all the time, I still wrestle with prompt drift myself sometimes. I'll try to force it to do these really complex things that only the full software can do, when I should just be thinking about maximizing the speed it offers for quick, clean results.
That's a really important admission. It shows that just managing your expectations is probably the first step. You mentioned this tool acts as an AI filter or an adjustment engine. For anyone new to that jargon, what are we really talking about?
It just means applying real Photoshop effects, like brightness or selective color, based on a typed instruction, and then it gives you control sliders afterward.
Got it. So connecting this to the bigger picture then, what would you say is the biggest distinction between this chat tool and having the full Photoshop software?
It's speed-focused adjustments. It reserves the really complex design and compositing for the web version.
That clarifies the scope perfectly. Okay, let's talk logistics.
Yeah.
You can't just start prompting images right away. There's this one-time setup that you have to do.
Yeah. Yes. And it's straightforward, but you have to do it right the first time. First, just go into your ChatGPT settings. You'll see your profile icon in the bottom corner. From there, you navigate to the Apps and Connectors tab. You'll see a few Adobe apps listed there. Find Adobe Photoshop and just click Connect. You accept the terms, and that's it. That's the end of the setup. It links your Adobe account, but remember, using this chat integration is, for now, free.
Okay, and once it's connected, the workflow for actually starting an edit, there's a specific step there too. You don't just upload an image to the normal chat box, do you? You have to activate the Photoshop tool first. You use the little plus icon in the prompt box, select the Photoshop tool, and then you upload your image. The Photoshop icon will pop up confirming it's active, and then you can start typing things like fix the overexposure and boost the shadows.
Yeah, and understanding the boundaries here is really the key to efficiency. If you ask it to do something it can't, you're just going to waste time. The tool is spectacular for non-destructive adjustments, selective color grading where it auto-masks things for you, and applying creative effects like bloom or duotone. But, and this is the critical limitation, the ceiling of the chat environment, it can't do generative fill. So that means no AI object removal or replacement inside the chat. It also doesn't support complex manual selection, so no lasso tool, no pen tool, and you can't merge or composite multiple images together.
That distinction is so crucial. So if I try to use the chat to, say, remove a person from the background of a photo, it's just going to fail and I'll be stuck. Okay, so when must we switch tools to avoid hitting that ceiling?
You switch when you need generative fill, multi-image merging, or that really precise masking for deep design work.
Excellent. Let's dive into the 5 techniques. These are the workflows that are high impact, they work reliably, and they give you truly professional looking results. Let's start with selective isolation.
Technique 1 is all about making your subject pop by changing the background. A classic cinematic trick, right? Turn the background black and white, keep the subject in color, you just prompt, make the background black and white. The time saver here is just massive. The AI automatically isolates the subject for you. You never have to touch a brush or a mask. And once the effect is on, you just use the intensity slider to fine-tune it. That slider basically works like opacity in Pro Tools. And a key tip is to avoid 100% intensity. Just pull it back to like 80 or 90% for a much better, more integrated look.
That's the complete elimination of manual masking. I mean, if you've ever spent an hour trying to perfectly cut around flyaway hair, you know how big a deal this is. Okay. Technique 2 focuses on precise color changes on specific objects. Let's say you're editing a product photo for an e-commerce site. The product comes in 3 colors, but you only shot the red one. Your prompt could be, make the purse yellow.
Right, and the AI identifies the object, and what happens under the surface is really powerful. It creates a targeted hue and saturation adjustment layer just on the purse. This isn't some simple filter overlay. The huge benefit is the realism. Because it's non-destructive, the texture of the purse, the leather grain, the reflections, the original shadows, all of that stays realistic. Then you can adjust the hue, saturation, and lightness in the little properties panel until it perfectly matches the yellow you need. This just gets rid of that flat, fake look you get from, painting over something by hand.
So how does this prompt-based approach change the complexity of masking?
It eliminates manual masking completely by letting the AI identify and target subjects for you automatically.
Which brings us to the creative side of things. Techniques 3, 4, and 5. Styling, mood, and refinement. Technique 3 is the creative effect known as bloom glow.
Yeah, this effect adds that dreamy, kind of ethereal lift to highlights. It's fantastic for high-end beauty portraits, jewelry, or product shots where you want something to feel soft and expensive. You just prompt, add a soft bloom to the highlights. The controls you get are strength, spread, and blur. The critical tip here is all about subtlety. If the glow looks cheap or distracting, you've gone too far. Reduce the strength until you can barely notice it, but the image just feels undeniably better.
So why is the subtle control of that bloom effect so often overlooked by users?
Subtlety makes the effect look professional and expensive. Strong application just looks obvious and cheap.
That's a lesson that applies to pretty much all digital creativity, doesn't it? Okay, technique 4 brings in artistic effects, specifically halftone and duotone. These are great for making bold graphic visuals for marketing or, say, album covers, right? Halftone turns photos into that comic book or old newspaper look. You prompt, apply a halftone effect. The cool detail is you can then adjust the dot size and the angle to refine how dense that vintage or graphic look is. And duotone is a superb branding tool. It just locks the image down to 2 colors, one for shadows, one for highlights. You can prompt, apply a duotone effect using our brand's blue and a light cream, and boom, you get instant stylized consistency.
And finally, technique 5. This covers probably the single most critical adjustment for editing photos of people: vibrance versus saturation. Okay, here is the critical mistake to avoid. If you prompt add saturation on a portrait, you risk turning skin tones orange. It just makes the whole image look plastic, because saturation boosts all colors equally. The rule is really simple. Always use add more vibrance for portraits and products. Vibrance is the smart control. It boosts the dull colors while intelligently protecting those crucial natural skin tones from turning, radioactive orange. It's subtle, it's smart, and it's much safer.
That vibrance distinction alone that's worth the price of admission. It's the difference between looking like a pro and looking like you just downloaded some free app on your phone. Okay, so now we get to the core of why this integration is such a game changer: the layered workflow and the professional handoff. This tool manages your edits just like you were in the desktop app.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
When you make those changes, the duotone, the bloom, that black and white background, they're all stacked into an edit stack. Just think of it like a virtual layer history. And the benefit of this non-destructive stack is confidence. If you apply 5 edits and then decide the third one, let's say the halftone, ruins the whole mood, you just type, remove the halftone effect. Only that specific edit is removed. The other 4 changes stay exactly where they are. It encourages you to experiment because nothing is permanent.
Whoa, wait a second. So I've just done, say, a dozen complex edits just by talking to it, stacking them up. And now I realize I need generative fill to take out a distracting object. I click Open in Photoshop on the web, and those 12 conversational commands don't just flatten the image and give me a JPEG. They actually materialize as 12 separate labeled adjustment layers inside the web application.
That is the crucial detail. The file opens as a layered Photoshop file. All those chat edits, brightness, selective color, bloom, they show up as individual adjustment layers with the masks already applied by the AI. You're ready for final polishing immediately, and you keep full professional control. This layered transfer basically defines the perfect workflow. Use the chat for speed, for rough edits, for prototyping. Then, you switch to the powerful web version when you need that final, pixel-level polish or advanced tools like generative fill.
So what is the best time to make that switch from the quick chat to the powerful web version?
Use the chat for speed and rough edits, then switch to the web for final polish and complex tools.
Let's really nail down the practical applications here, the repeatable use cases that anyone listening can adapt today. Where are the fastest wins?
Okay, for product photos, you can get visual consistency across a whole catalog really quickly. You can prompt, increase vibrance slightly, darken the background to create contrast, and warm the white balance. It standardizes your look without any manual batch processing. For portrait touch-ups, especially for quick social media stuff, the goal is rapid optimization. Use prompts like add soft bloom to highlights, slightly blur the background, increase contrast. You get a high-quality professional polish in just a few seconds.
And for anyone who wants to explore beyond the 5 techniques we just covered, you mentioned the tool can actually guide you. You can literally ask it for a full list of all available adjustments and effects, noise, glitch, pixelate, white balance, everything. We also found that small changes to your wording, being specific, makes a huge difference. Don't just say increase brightness, say increase brightness by 30%. Reference objects by name, make the jacket dark green and the hat blue. And you can chain adjustments together in one prompt.
Yeah, and if you're not a designer, this integration just removes that psychological barrier completely. You get clean professional results without spending weeks learning a complex interface. And for pros, it's the ultimate rapid prototyping tool.
So if we had to summarize the biggest benefit for a total beginner,
The tool provides professional results quickly without you having to memorize complex menus or tools.
the core lesson of this deep dive, then, is that the future of editing is fundamentally conversational. This Photoshop integration offers the lightning speed of an AI instruction combined with the precision of Photoshop's non-destructive layer engine. You get that professional control, but without the frustration of complex toolbars. It's arguably the smartest, fastest front door to professional image editing that's ever been created.
It truly is. And it makes you think. Since the AI now understands these complex editing concepts just through conversation terms like vibrance, duotone, selective masking, how long will it be until manually clicking through a nested menu feels completely obsolete? That's the profound question, I think, for the future of all creative work. We really appreciate you sharing these insightful sources with us. Go ahead and connect that Photoshop tool to your ChatGPT account. Experiment with these powerful conversational workflows today.